Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is April 11th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing phenomenal. I'm a little sleep deprived, but what a day of golf. We have an awesome leaderboard, and there's just a lot of amusing stuff that happened in the last 2 hours.
A lot of good stuff. You've got Tyrell missing 1-footers. You've got Scottie sitting under the Magnolia tree, cross-legged, clamoring for maybe a crooked drop or an embedded ball or a microphone or who knows what might be there. The cut line drama is Spieth going to make it on
Grumpy
the number? We had a couple sad dive below the wrong side of the line in Bernie Launer and others. But an entertaining Friday night after an entertaining morning with Bryson, the less thick boy, Rory getting in the fight after, the disappointment of Thursday evening. Rosie sort of hanging on there and kind of cruising with the 71 to keep out in front. So really good Friday at Augusta. Like awesome leaderboard set up for the weekend, right?
Honestly, you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, Corey Connors isn't on the leaderboard anymore. We crossed him off yesterday. But you start to look at the leaderboard and you say, this could be an all-timer. Now, it could be a dud, but this is shaping up. I mean, I think probably if you had to say who are the three most intriguing people in golf right now, you've got Bryson DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy, and Scottie Scheffler right there with the chance to win the Masters on the weekend.
We got 36 holes to go, many more narratives to be written, many more, we're going to prematurely bury some people and prematurely coronate others. So long ways to go. As I think Rory sort of emphasized today, right? With how, it was like, this just isn't his place. Gagged it. He lost 4 shots in 2 holes, but just not his course. Never will be his. What? I mean, we've got 54 holes to go. A lot more to come on the weekend. This was a good day. Where do you rate it? Was it up there?
There was a lot of premature takes, with Rory. I think where I net out with Rory at the end of 2 days is he made 2 double bogeys. And if you said at the beginning of the week, Rory McIlroy is going to make 4 bogeys over the first 2 rounds on a pretty tough Augusta National setup, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's good.
That'll happen.
But they all came in 2 holes. And, you look at Scottie Scheffler, who went bogey free yesterday, had 5 bogeys today. So, in terms of negative holes, he's ahead of Scottie Scheffler. He's behind Bryson, who's been incredible. But I'm so excited for the weekend. Yesterday after Rory kind of bombed out, I was looking at the leaderboard and I was like, man, Bryson and Scheffler would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And now you got Bryson, Scheffler, and Rory in the mix. That's awesome. So
and Shane, and I Lowry, and Tyrell.
Well, Justin
Victor.
Rose at the top is I think a 45-year-old winner, a guy that's probably it feels like one major is too few for him. Is also a great story there.
And we got a little romantic about Rosie last year at Troon, right? Remember when he was went and did local qualifying or whatever they call it for the Open Championship, and all of a sudden he's leading at Troon, and he's just look, just the opportunity is what I'm playing. It's just so exciting to be in it, be in the fight, and he was really made a little. Romanced us a little bit with that late run at Troon. PJ, are we all good on the technical front? You're scrambling around, scurrying around back there. Are we okay?
Audio's a little dodgy.
Audio's a little dodgy. Well,
all right, well.
That happens.
That's no good.
The wires must be cold. Audio quality is dodgy, lads. That'll happen. We're just getting a lot of comments about audio. What do we have going on? Is it the Wi-Fi at the media center that's the problem? No? All right. Just keep going. Just keep going.
All right. We're just going to plow ahead.
We're just going to let it go. This is the beauty of live podcasting. So Rose is 8 under. I don't know if he's the favorite. I think when you got a Bryson. Bryson's super impressive right now. I was out following those 2 groups. Like you said, I wrote about Rory primarily for the newsletter because I think he was a bit of the story in that people were kind of burying him. And I thought the way he put it, like I wasn't going to let those two holes dictate the narrative was like the precise phrase I believe he used. And it kind of had Thursday night into Friday morning. And he started, I wouldn't say he started slow. I watched him for most of the front nine, and he was playing very good golf. He wasn't getting a lot of like leaderboard movement out of it. I don't know that he played demonstrably better on the back than he did on the front. It's just the numbers on the scorecard started to become red. And
well, I mean, that's what golf is, though.
Right,
like,
totally.
I think people get wrapped up like what golf is just giving yourself opportunities to score, right?
Yep.
And putting yourself into positions to score. And he did that like all day yesterday, and he did it again all day today. And at the end of the day, he's right there.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of like, Justin Rose, I feel like we've seen this song and dance where he fires out, shoots out of the cannon, and then, it's like, okay, then he comes in and he's going to be, in the Matt Jordan zone, 70, 71, 72, 73. I feel like I need to see something out of Rosie tomorrow.
like what?
Like I think he's got to shoot something in the
69,
60s.
68,
something in the
something
60s.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but he's also, like you said, 40 whatever. It's been a long road for Rosie, right? I mean, I guess this is really one of his happy hunting grounds, but it's where you can get loose for sure. Where should we go next? Do you want to go to Bryson? This audio quality comments have me off my game, PJ. Do we need to re-rack or are we good? Are we good? I think we're good. All right.
We're good. DJ says we're good.
All right. Let's keep running.
Is the audio better?
I have no idea. I'm here talking. I'm not listening. So let's go to Bryson. He's one back. He's going to be in the final group. Has he figured out the par 68 that he once proclaimed at Augusta National? It was interesting to watch him behind Rory today sort of lay up, right? Not lay up, but play shorter, maybe more conservatively. Sometimes he hit some big balls. His spot on 5 was wild, really wild. And it was softer for those guys out there. So if you're closer hitting wedges or hitting high lofted clubs, it was a distinct advantage.
I think this is really similar to what we've seen out of Rory in majors, but it's just like more Bryson at the Masters, is understanding like that power's a weapon, but it doesn't mean because you're really big and long, doesn't mean you need to use it all the time. And we're seeing restraint. I couldn't believe the analytics boys, the data boys, the strategy boys, everybody says, just hit it up on 3. Bomb it down there. And it was into the wind today. Mm-hmm. So like you would think like giving yourself like a little half wedge, like it helps you, you might be worried about like getting enough spin on it if it was downwind. But into the wind, he was worried about not having enough control of the spin with a 70-yard wedge. So he laid back and like hit a full shot in there. Right. And I just think like we've seen with Bryson, he's got like I think he just thought he could raw overpower the golf course, but it seems like to me, just in general, he has a level of respect for the golf course now, and that is he's playing like. I think it's one of the beautiful things about Augusta National is like, and we talked about this yesterday with Bernie Longer about like how he gets around the golf course and how amazing it is because he's played it so many times and he understands and he has to understand how to play it. I think what we're seeing with Bryson is he's just getting to the point where he really understands how he should play it, the places where he pushes the gas down and the places that he kind of holds back and, plays kind of the long game. So it's been fun to watch him. I think about last year, like, somebody asked a really great question in the press conference about Bryson. He talked about the putting and the putting issues that he had last year. Cause he basically was like, I didn't putt well.
Yeah.
I couldn't putt. And he talked about how he just practiced a ton of lag putting in preparation for this place.
Right.
And it's just, that's one of those things. It takes time to really, understand it. I think because of the success of players like Spieth and Scheffler right out of the gates, it sometimes casts this like idea that everybody should be able to know how to play it from like day one. But like Bryson's strengths and weaknesses weren't necessarily tailor-made for Augusta National. What he's doing is working on what his weaknesses are that Augusta National causes problems with and addressing those, really working on those. It's not like, you go to Scheffler or Jordan Spieth of the mid-2000s, 2010s, their games were just perfect for Augusta National.
Yeah, and to say nothing about like Bryson, you might like the way he delivers it, right? You might think he comes across as like a little phony or a goober or like kind of sounding like a doofus and mistaken and rambling. But like, however he delivers it isn't really reflective of he is actually working at everything. Like we've seen this now. He's busted his ass to change approaches, right? To figure it out. Whether it doesn't suit his strengths at the first year, but it might by year 4. And he'll work to figure it out. And so like he might come across goofy in the way he talks about it, but he is, whether it's putting on, 75 pounds or changing his swing or making 3D printed clubs. Like he's taking a little bit of that sort of adaptability, evolution, progress to Augusta National. I thought another one today was 7. I was shocked. I was with Rory up ahead, and there's a ball like 200 yards away. 7, they usually just push it up there, and it's narrow, right? For better or worse, they push it up there. I think Shane Lowry hit it 307. He had 127 yards into the green. It's pretty common play. Bryson hit it 240 and at 207 yards in. That's a big ball for that hole to that up, and he hit it just barely to the front green. I thought it clipped a tree. I could not figure out why he was so far back, but that was apparently how he wanted to play 7 today. And like you're talking about with 3, it was interesting. Then like he has such an advantage when he does decide to actually whale away.
Dude, when his drive 5. On 2 was insane. It was so far down the hill. Like the guys he played with, Hideki, maybe the shot of the day for me, just out there seeing shots in person.
Yep.
Hideki hit like this, hit a great drive and hit a great iron to like, 2 feet on 2. But Bryson was like 30 yards ahead of him. He was like so far down the hill. It's just like crazy. He had to be hitting like a 7 iron in. It's just like such an advantage. Him and Rory, what they are able to do when they let it really fly is just, you talked to Rory was talking about the shot, if we want to transition over there, like the shot in the pine straw. And he was like, I think he had like
13
186 is I think the number he said to the front edge.
You talking about 13?
13, yeah.
Okay.
And somebody asked him like, was there a question of whether you go or not? And he's like, I had 186 or whatever that exact number was to the front edge.
Yeah.
There was never really a question of whether I go. And you see other guys laying up on 13 from the fairway. It's just like being able to get up gives you just such an advantage. At Augusta National, a few places, but so much of this golf course is just keeping bogeys off your card, and I think that's where Bryson the approach on 7 is like, the reality like Bryson's not going to make a bogey on a 210-yard par 3 that often. Mm-hmm. So if you're uncomfortable with a tee shot, hitting an iron out there into the fairway, despite what the data says, like. I always think like the better thing to do is to hit what you're comfortable with. And it seems like he's adopting some of that approach. Is like hit the fairway, play from fairway from a good lie. And the reality is you're probably not going to make worse than a 4.
Yeah. I feel like 7's pretty solvable as a 4 hole, as a par hole at this point. Just even if you do send it in the trees, you just punch it in the bunkers and get up and down. I don't know.
I had this thought while I was sitting there. I think they should get rid these are things that would never happen, but I was thinking about like that hole could be a lot more interesting if there were no bunkers or like one bunker in front.
Yeah.
Because like you'd see these really fun recovery shots of like guys trying to scoot it up from the trees.
Yeah.
But if they didn't make it all the way up, then it comes back down and you have like a 40-yard pitch to a really elevated green, which would be very hard. And if you hit gas it a little too long, you end up in those back bunkers, which would be really fun with like basically an infinity edge and then guys tumble down 40 yards.
It'd be cool. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Cool. After watching that hole for 2 days, it's it's like feels just solved, right? And maybe
Well, it's just hit the fairway.
or don't hit the fairway and dump it in the bunker and get up and down. And more often than not, these pros get up and down from that kind of bunker. Should we do you have any more on Rory, the back nine charge? I was so impressed with his front nine play. I thought he kept hitting like the good shot at 5, at 7, at 8, on a third shot after you hit it in the bunker, but a good third shot on 9. Just kind of kept hitting good shots, and then but he wasn't getting like the birdies out of the round. He went 1 under on the front, and then he sticks it at 10 and 11, and we're off and running. A lot of people are talking about 13. He used the phrase "I rode my luck." It started at 12, right? A little bounce back off the azalea bushes. Yeah.
It was like there was a green jacket up in the azaleas throwing them back.
They both paddle, with both the pickleball paddle.
Yeah, both the balls were up there for a little bit, and then they just came shooting out. It was like
like skee ball. The ball return comes back down to you or something like that. So that was the first bit of luck. 13. I guess it's luck. He hit it. He found the exact precise corner to cross, and then you got to convert the putt, and he did. On 14, he went way right or wide right and found a nice little window from the pine straw to get up and through the trees and back in play. 15, the green catching a lot of guff lately as being nuclear firm, much firmer on Thursday than soft on Thursday, Friday, I should say.
I just love these people that like they're mad if it's too easy, they're mad, and then if it's too hard, they're mad. And like what I like about 15 is like you actually have to hit 2 good shots, because it turned into like everybody's going at this back tee because it plays into the wind a lot when the and it's like, well, guess what, like. If you want it to be a par 5, guys shouldn't be hitting 8 irons into it, Yeah. Like this is a par 5.
There's
like you have to hit 2 proper shots to make a 4.
I think we're going to talk more holistically about that when it's all said and done. But there's been a lot of like pushing back on 15, and maybe it's just the firmness of the green is adding to the angst about it. But yeah, even before we played, there were comments by Tyrell and Rom.
Xander was, I don't think he was complaining, but he just said it was so soft today. It was so different, and because of the rain,
Yeah.
I think like this is a reality. Like next year it won't be as firm. This is a new green. You could ask another question why we need to, rebuild greens like every 4 years or whatever they're doing right now.
Yeah. 1, 8, 15. 16 was hit by trees. I think that was a different scenario. That was interesting to hear Homa have to talk about. Like he had to get up and down from like the part that was like, it was firmer as it was, like even just chipping off of that area. He's like, that was a hurricane relief area as he termed it, because he's just like looking for his words, and it's like made it a much harder chip to get up and down. So we got Bryson, we got Rory, we got Rosie. Do you have a shot of the day nominee?
I got the
Friday?
Hideki one.
Okay. All right. What was that again? So people can go look it up. Hideki at what hole?
Just an awesome, he almost made it. It like scared the hole on 2 for 2. He almost made it 2 on 2.
That's amazing. That's a good, like the Louis Usti.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was sitting right there. It was amazing.
A cool shot, certainly for the romantics, was JT on number 8. That was a front pin. It was pretty tricky to get to. A lot of guys just sending it, up there right, and he used one of the mounds, kind of brought it back down to the front of the green. Really cool, kind of chip shot or pitch shot.
Can I nominate Cam Young?
Which one? What about it? The 4 putt?
The putt.
From 10 feet or what?
The putt. This is one of the shots of the day.
What about it? Why was it so good for you?
The 2 putts back and forth. That was just so relatable. It was.
Did he miss the cut?
Yes.
I thought it looked like he was going
completely
because of
out.
that. Yeah, tough finish for Cam Young. My wife is texting me about why are you wearing a shacket, so she must be watching.
God.
It's the first time.
I can't believe that she's so watching.
The shacket was a hit out on the golf course today. Cameron, our photographer, just walked in. Lottery winner for Cameron. This is a Friday night tradition now on the Shotgun Start. We got Andy 2 years ago, me last year. Now we got Cameron. Cameron did not have a shacket on. We're very happy for Cameron. Did not have a shacket on, but you can get a shacket at bdraddy.com using the promo code SGS30. You need it. It's an expensive item. I'm not going to joke. I'm not going to downplay it. It gets pricey. I think it's worth it. The amount of comments I got on the ground today about my shacket was incredible. It was a hit. Everybody's talking about the scripting. I like the oatmeal color, if I must say so myself. I didn't follow the scripting to a T. I lost the shorts. It was like 55 degrees. I wasn't wearing shorts. I'm not that hip, but I kept it on the whole day. Got a little toasty. I kept rolling right through. Got breezy, and you got your hoodie, your green hoodie.
I can't remember what the name of this
Willie
one is.
hoodie. I believe.
It's the Willie hoodie.
Yes.
This was spectacular today.
Yep.
It was like, in the morning, low 60s. In the middle of the day, 71.
Yep.
It was warm enough in the morning, and then it got a little toasty, and all I had to do was roll up the sleeves.
It was
and
good.
I was
You
like,
were so
I was
happy.
like, it was like I was wearing a t-shirt. It was incredible.
You were so happy.
My scripting hit the mark today. I got to say, I was not just let down by my scripting. You can get all this. Like the other thing that's perfect for this weather is the Cool series. Cool hoodie. The
coming
cool,
down the pike, that hot weather. I had a cool polo on under the shacket. It's incredibly light, airy. Go to bdraddy.com, use the promo code SGS30, get 30% off, whether it's a pricier item like the shacket, the cool polos that they've built out their offering there. And we also have a giveaway. Check the show notes. We have a giveaway for an Andy hoodie that's been very popular also around town that you were getting comments about in the bandana color. It's like pinkish. It's red pinkish salmon, I guess is what you'd call it. It's got the little gnome logo that sells out all the hats and everything like that. So enter the sweepstakes and you will get a Andy hoodie. That's a pricey item too. So check that out for a giveaway with the Andy hoodie. All right, moving on. Quote of the day. Do we have a quote of the day? We've done shot of the day. I'm going to read a little Akshay. Right. Can I read Akshay?
Yeah.
He was all over the place. He was not hitting it between the mayonnaise and the mustard, as the cliche goes. But I found this a little bit charming at the end. He goes, the wind, the up and down, the slopes, the uneven lies. How much does that fit the way you like to play golf in general? He said, it's definitely different. You have to hit a lot of shots, which I really enjoy. But I think what's so great about Augusta National is how uncomfortable those shots feel, especially at 10. It's great to be uncomfortable. The green is angled right, the ball is below your feet, and you have the wind, which the first couple of days have been into and off the right. It's just so tricky because it's not that hard of a shot. You have an 8-iron in your hand, but you can't miss it right. You can't miss it too far left. It's a lot of fun to try and figure out. I feel like every time I come to Augusta National, for whatever reason, my short game, I just enjoy imagining all these shots. And my only birdie today was chipping in. I think it's just fun kind of playing a golf course like this because it's not too long. There's no thick rough, but it's as hard as it gets. The kids are all right. What a great quote.
It's amazing.
As hard as it gets, not that long, no rough. It's like imagining all my short game shots. It's just an 8-iron. It should be fine, but like it just puts you in a blender. It's just a great quote from Akshay. That's one of my favorites I read. And he didn't have a great day either.
I enjoyed Bryson's, somebody asked him about the range session, like what he's working on, and he said, could be any of 100 things, because that was just extremely relatable.
Yeah, that was he's bouncing around. He said, if I'm really trying to find my golf swing, I can go through 100 pretty easily. They asked him about the swing thoughts. 100. 15 to 20 on a range session. It's more sometimes. You wouldn't want to be in there. He also said, I'm a little different, I guess. Something's not right up there. So very self-deprecating, which we love on this podcast.
I thought he was pretty good in his press conference today. I liked Victor Hovland saying that his golf swing is at a 6. So he's contending in a major championship despite a 6 as a golf swing.
He also point blank said, like, if I'm playing like this, I cannot win. It's like, which had to make, his team feel great. Like, I don't think I could win that. Can you win this tournament with your mind cluttered with swing thoughts like this on Sunday? He goes, probably not. Just pretty point blank.
Or he's keeping expectations low. This could be a game within the game for him.
I love that. I love that.
What do you think? How far back's too far back right now?
I don't know. It's only Friday night. I think anything below 3. Is that fair?
I think that's where you have to.
In?
I don't think you can. The class of player up at the top is so good that you can't. I don't think you can bring. You're gonna like the odds of DeChambeau, Rory, and Scheffler just at those. Like I think there's variability with these players. Like a lot of these players, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't play bad. But I would be very surprised if all 3 of them played poorly. And you have to expect a few of the other names at the top of the board to play well. We haven't talked about Scottie. 5 bogey day was a little scratchy, if I'm being honest. I don't think we've, through 2 days, like yesterday, the 4 under was bogey free, which was like, going around Augusta National bogey free. As evidenced by like only one person's gone through 36 holes bogey free in the history ever is like insane. The fact that Jason Day made it to 18 was insane. Yeah. So going through 18 holes bogey free is an amazing feat. But like he was 4 under and he rolled in like 2 bombs yesterday. And today, like I think like so if you want to if you're rooting for Scottie Scheffler, your hope is, hey, he's going to improve. His irons are going to improve. That he's going to do a range session, and they're going to figure something out. And he hasn't hit the ball that well. If you're rooting against Scottie Scheffler, you're saying he's not hitting the ball that well, and he's kind of getting away with a lot. It's the Aaron Paul. He can't keep getting away with this gif. If so, I think that's like the tape on Scheffler is like. I mean, the guy can just like go around this golf course. Like, I think he played pretty bad today and he shot one under. Yeah.
Shot 71.
In like very difficult conditions, very breezy. And I think that's like another story of the day is just, the guys that went out in the morning had a huge advantage. You could just feel that wind start to pick up as they finished their round.
It was not calm for them. I thought it was it was a little bit of breeze this morning for sure, but then it certainly got much more significant for the late tee times. And I think it's going to get harder on the weekend, maybe not the wind as much, but it's certainly going to firm up. This morning, I would characterize, look, last night I was sitting here saying we overdo it on like, oh, that's getting too soft. It's not as firm as it should be. It was soft-ish this morning, I would say. It was like, you were hitting a high lofted club, you were getting about a 1 yard out of roll. Like they were sticking, they were making ball marks, and you're getting about a 1 yard of roll on some of them. If you were on a wedge, I saw Rory at 5, hard hole, hard green, rolled like about 1 yard. So it wasn't super firm, but I think that will change as the weekend progresses. I only think it's going to get more and more firm. Where else do you want to go? How far back? Because you're saying nothing below 3. Is that where we're coming?
I think that's where we're at.
That would leave out Fleetwood at 2. Morikawa as 3. So he just he lost one at the end there. So it's basically eliminating Fleetwood, and he's sort of a bridesmaid anyways.
Maybe, it would eliminate a lot of guys.
Well, a lot of guys after too, for sure.
I think my other thing. How about the youngs versus olds battle?
What do you have for me?
I got the AMs.
Okay.
So we got Hastings at +4, Ty at +6, Ballester at +10, Noah Kent at +11. The olds compromised. The olds dusted them.
Who were the olds?
Bernie, 67-year-old Bernie. +3. 65 or 66-year-old couples, +4. Old Thobel's got to be like 63, 64, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. 63.
+7.
Okay.
And Cabrera, fresh out of the clink, +11. That's it. That's your 4 olds. The olds dusted them.
Well, I mean, it speaks a little bit to, I know it's been stretched out a bit, but it does speak a little bit to distance not being the primary defense here, right? Xander came out and straight up said it's not a driver course.
I mean, Justin Rose is hitting 3-wood like all over the place.
It pays to be lawn. Like, it is not a disadvantage that people conflate that with like it's bad to be a lawn hitter. You can still find places to be it's just not exclusive to that.
I think what it is that the fairways are achievable. Like you can hit outside of really like 7. None of the fairways are really narrow.
Yeah.
So you could go around there and be like, I can hit every fairway here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think why distance isn't like the end all be all is because being in the fairway is just, you have to be in the fairway to play this golf course because you have to have control of your ball hitting into the greens. And that's why I think you see guys like Rory on 17. I think it's interesting. I'm very curious. He always hits 3-wood there, but in that pinch point gets really narrow, he can hit driver past it, which I'm always wondering about. But he must just think like, I'm going to hit the fairway. I'm more comfortable hitting the fairway with 3-wood. I think like there are holes where distance is a huge, huge factor, right? Like it can be the par 5s are the obvious ones where they really let it air out. And then it's like 11 and it's, 5 is another one that it's a big advantage on. Yep. And, those are the ones where, if you can air it out, you just gain so much.
We're getting word that 53 players made the cut, which means we'll have a marker. The Augusta National. McDermott, the Philadelphia area, good player. Very good player.
Longest walk with a putter in Augusta National history.
Which was what? He drove
11 green.
Yep.
And it's a 4 caddy hole, and the caddy was 4 caddying, and he ran back to the tee with the putter to hand it to him. Said, "Mr. McDermott, you need to take the longest walk with a putter in Augusta National history."
So he'll be a playing marker on the weekend. Story heard here first on the Shotgun Start. Andy Johnson please credit on the Michael McDermott longest walk with a putter. That's a good story. I always loved that one. We told that a couple of years. Should we get to the missed cutters, and then do a round of notes?
Do you want to why don't we, there's a theme in the missed cutter, the disappointments. I think I've got a list of disappointments, missed cut or made cut.
Okay.
I mean, if you just go on there and scroll through it, there's no way to avoid that the theme here is Live Boys.
They didn't. Yasser was there. Yasser was present.
And maybe we should save some of this for Sunday.
Yeah.
But here's who I have right now is the most disappointing players right now.
Okay.
I had Jordan Spieth in here, but I removed him because I didn't really expect anything. So
yep.
Wasn't disappointed.
Okay, sure.
John Rahm. The 2 over.
The lonely boy, as he's now known around here. The lonely boy. Okay.
Joaquin Niemann at +2.
Rahm shot 71, but yeah, he's 2 over. Made it just barely.
Joaquin Niemann makes it on the number.
Okay. Niemann and Rahm on the number.
Ain't going to win.
Niemann, allegedly the best player in the world in some metrics. Okay.
By some. DJ, +3.
Made a mess at the last. Misses the cut.
Sergio, best player on Live this year, according to Live people.
He's playing well. I thought.
+4.
76 on Friday.
Doesn't bode well for his Ryder Cup chances, because I don't necessarily think that they want him on the team.
Well, yeah, he's got to put the pedal down at some of these majors. What else?
Brooks Koepka, +5.
Just a disaster. Quad? I think it was a quad.
On 18.
At 18 to just nosedive below the cut line. Come on. Best major player of like a generation of the last decade. Stinks. I wish we could have him on the weekend.
Cam Smith?
Bad. 5 over
5.
12. I think he went real fast. Just wrong way. First miscut ever at Augusta for him. I think in 8 starts.
Billy Boy, +5. I feel bad.
Was that osmosis?
I think that's
from playing with.
I feel bad for the entire group for having to play, and I feel bad for Nick Dunlap with the struggles.
I had a lot of empathy for that kid. I watched them tee off this morning, like second round.
Good Bobby on him shooting 71.
Yeah, Bobby Mack also missed the cut in that group.
Yeah.
Billy Boy and Bobby Mack, and then Dunlap. Obviously, I felt just anxious for him watching. It sounds like he hit 100 balls. What'd you say? He hit a bucket of balls?
He said
his coach went out to Target or his agent or somebody and got him a bunch of balls.
And they hit him into the woods at his Airbnb.
Sounds wasteful.
Somebody's going to be walking in the woods and come up on a boon of golf balls.
I love it. But good on him, honestly, for shooting the under par. That's kind of amazing after the 90.
The tank at +5. Very disappointing.
I'm so sad about the tank.
I mean, that
Birdie
might be the
machine.
most disappointing.
Yeah.
And then finally, Zalatoris at +8. But, just general theme, very live heavy in disappointments.
It is live heavy. Mickelson missed the cut as well. I should add that.
I mean, it
Another live
was his
play.
first miscut in a very long time.
I think a long time. 16 or something like 2016. It's been a while since Phil had missed the cut.
You haven't? Are you going to find something to write about Phil?
No, I guess I'm not.
You're out of the woods.
I'm out of the woods. I skipped my annual Phil dispatch on the state of whatever he's doing.
You know what you should do tomorrow is you should go out with Day on the front nine.
Stop.
Years ago,
me.
Brendan went out to write Day.
Because he was like leading.
Yeah.
And then he shot 40 or something.
I think it was the Ram Kepka year.
Yeah, and I needed a non-Rom, non-Kepka story for because they were obviously going to be the deal
it was
on
Friday,
Sunday.
right?
Yeah,
Friday afternoon.
I was like, oh, look at this. We haven't heard from Day in a while, and he just wrecked everything I had
I think
written.
he got caught in that crazy weather.
Maybe
at the end of that day.
Other MCers, Zalatoris.
I had him. I just said him.
Oh, you
Zalatoris
did. Adam
+8.
Scott. Where are we on Adam Scott anymore?
I think he's just kind of fading off into him and Sir. That's what I'm most impressed about Justin Rose is. I think like him, Adam Scott, and Sergio are kind of like on this plane of they're this players of this certain generation. And I think Adam Scott and Sergio were kind of more relevant and they're like what you would consider like peak prime. They're late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Without question, Justin Rose has been the best player from like 35 on of that group. That's when he got to the number one in the world.
Won a FedEx Cup.
But like every year he's in the mix at a major. It's unbelievable. He's 45.
Good player. Kept his, increased his speed, kept his control. He's been a great player to watch. Other misses. Did you mention Finau? Where are we with Finau?
I just didn't. I didn't put him on here. To me, like he's not a player that plays at
Henley was expected. Yeah, big ups to Max Homa too. By the way, his first made cut on a full field deal or whatever they call it now.
Not according to the PGA Open. Tour. That's a lie. According to PGA Tour.
At Troon, remember he bombed in that one at Troon and celebrated on Friday night. Had that great kind of celebration, and he made the cut there. It's the first one he's made, I guess, since then with the full whatever it is, 100 big field, I guess is what they want to call it. So that's your cut watch. Do you want to do a bunch of notes, odds and ends? I got a good Ken Griffey Jr. note. So he's a photographer. Apparently he's very collegial with the boys, with the regulars, the regular photographers. Maybe one of the most famous baseball players of all time. I was told a strict rule for the photographers is you can't wear your hat backwards.
Oh,
and this is Ken Griffey Jr.'s entire bit, like his entire thing. This is his signature. It's like telling Michael Jordan he can't do the free throw line dunk in the dunk contest. He can't go. He has to go from the side every time or off the bounce. This is apparently a rule. It's not a rule for the Masters. There's a bunch of jamokes out there with their hat around bed. They can't regulate this, but apparently for photographers. You can't. Is it, Cameron? Is it common to turn around because you like bump it into the lens or something like that? You lift your lid bill up so you'll flip it around. Well, apparently this is this is discussed and addressed.
Do you flip it up then?
And
are you just riding?
Yeah, you just flip it up to the top of your head. Like
Cameron just said, I just always look like an idiot.
Like the kid in Sandlot or something. But yes. Ken Griffey Jr. can't wear his hat backwards. Just feels sort of anathema to everything. So that was a Junior bit.
The stars were out today.
What else?
There are a lot of athletes out.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell one story with a name. One story I'm going to keep nameless.
Okay.
I was hanging out by a green, and I was and Fitzmagic, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
Great quarterback.
Harvard zone. Yeah.
Never jammed the Jets.
Yeah.
But anyways, Fitzmagic was there, and a patron asked Fitzmagic to get him excited about Cam Ward.
Okay.
And the
number one pick.
The Fitzmagic didn't really have much to tell him. You know, but then he talked about it for a while. Then they started going on about, you know, all the mistakes the Titans have made.
Yep.
And you know, I piped in with like, yeah, you know, it's as a Bears fan, I can't even imagine what
you inserted yourself.
What you must be going through without a quarterback. That's just something I've never felt. Later on, I'm near another athlete. Victor Hovland's hitting a putt. Literally, he's at his dress, and this athlete just cuts a like very loud fart.
On purpose?
No, I think he just let it go.
Okay. Famous athletes doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
Just let it go. The patrons all around just started dying, laughing.
As Hovland's like putting.
Yes.
Well, by the way, Hovland's 5 under, by the way. Playing well. That's ridiculous.
It's incredible.
Interesting.
It was really funny.
Interesting. Other notes, I saw like a man of the cloth, I don't know if it's a priest or Episcopalian, like full blown robe. Like he looked like the Providence Friar. Like the whole deal, the hood, the collar, the Masters. It's not, I mean, it was chilly. I couldn't believe it. And he was just like kind of striding and the robe was flowing. And he was just there. He was under the scoreboard. I could not believe it. He looked like the Friar, the Providence Friar,
you know,
at the Masters.
You know
and maybe that's
been?
what you got to wear if you're out. I couldn't believe it. I don't know if it was priest or whatever denomination.
Are we sure it's not the chaplain?
It could have been the chaplain. I saw that. That was an amusing note. I couldn't believe it. In a fine way. No criticism. But
I ran into. I just was walking, and I saw. You know, this podcast does not like the big letter hats.
Oh, you want to do a hat chat?
This can start off the hat chat.
All right.
There's just a lot of bad hats out there right now.
I got a long list. Ready to go.
I was walking along, and just in my purview, you know, you're walking, you don't have your phone, so it's amazing. You just notice everything. Yeah. That's part of why you are able to have so many observations from Augusta National.
Notes for days.
But I'm walking along, and there's a guy, a 60-year-old man with a just big letter hat that just says Cougar. All I can think is like, usually it's, you know, a cougar would be someone around your age of the opposite sex, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's Cougar Point, I assume, right? The golf course that the Kerry Player disaster for the cost $500 at Keel Island.
One of the many, you know, misgivings, you know, the poor architectural designs of Keel Island.
Yeah. A cougar.
A bunch of golf courses built at the most inopportune time to build golf courses.
I mean, there's so many people, men and women, that just appear to take great deliberations on what they're going to wear. Their finest golf course logo. We've talked about this in prior years.
What's been the hot logo this year?
I don't know. What do you think? There's a lot of hoopy as usual. Sea islands everywhere.
Everybody loves wearing the hoopy. There's a ton of
Peachtree. Seeing a lot of Seminole. But
not as much Caves as usual. No, I feel like it's been a down year for Caves
maybe
Valley.
Maybe the Foz is on the outs there around here. I don't know.
Or were they shut? They were shut down last year, so nobody. Okay. Right? I think they were doing a renovation.
I'm not sure about.
Are they hosting the BMW this year? They were doing a renovation. So here's the theory. So my theory is everybody wears their best polo they have, right? And it makes sense. You're excited to go to the Masters. You wear your best polo.
The women have these amazing, intricate, you know, outfits pre-planned and dresses, and so the boys have the
boys have their best polo ready.
Uh-huh.
Caves was shut down all last year. That means no pro shop sales.
There you go.
So all the Caves, Caves fell down
for a year off for that.
Yeah, it is no longer your best polo because they got worn out.
Okay, so bring this home. Everybody does this, and you got this guy that just comes with the big Cougar in giant letters. That's where you got to on that preparation. Other ones, obviously, inside the rope, Sun Devils yesterday. A lot of Canada gear. Probably coming for you with a corny, like plaid Canada, like the Buffalo plaid, which looked very hot. Canada hat. Big couple days for Tour Edge Exotics with Bernie in the spotlight. A lot of Tour Edge Exotics hat that was custom. It said 85.93 to signify Bernie's wins. And then it had Bernard's signature on the side of the hat. Saw a lot of those Tour Edge hats out there. Saw a Bay Golf Club hat. I didn't know if that might have been a neighbor of yours.
It could have been. I gotta say I saw. So we've been talking about the upside down. Will the upside down infiltrate into Augusta National?
Yes.
Now, this was not an Augusta sold hat. It was not sold by Augusta National, but I saw an upside down Augusta hat today. Just the city name. Upside down Augusta.
I saw one that I couldn't read it. I thought it said Augusta. And I went up to the guy, and I probably looked like Larry David, trying to figure it out because I couldn't read it. There was an A and a G. And I was looking at him. And because it's upside down. It takes a minute to read it. And I looked, he's like, what are you looking at? I was like, I'm trying to read your hat. And it said agave. I thought it said Augusta, but it said the word agave. I don't know if that was some sort of tequila brand or hipster, but I said, I'm trying to read it. Your letters are upside down. So those are all over the place. What I don't get is the other golf tournaments. I saw a Cognizant hat, a FedEx St. Jude hat. One more.
But hold on.
Oh, Wempo, the Phoenix Open hat. Why? That's you're complaining about people wearing Wisconsin stuff when Illinois is playing. The tournament's not going on.
Their best golf hat. What if they think that's their best golf hat?
Cognizant?
You know what's humorous is that if you click into player profiles on Augusta on the Masters.com.
Yeah,
they do not acknowledge any of the tour sponsors in their title, and it'll say so and so. I saw somebody tagged us in this. Chris Kirk won the 2023 Palm Beach area tournament, not the Cognizant, the Palm Beach area.
Good. So good.
Palm Beach Garden said one in Palm Beach Gardens.
Couple other big letters.
I think we should adopt that.
We should. Let's comb through the player guide. We will adapt their specific lingo, and that's how we will refer to it heretofore. I'm getting word that there's a lot of in-out alternate. Not to look ahead. We never look ahead of the little tournament called the Masters, but in-out alternate coming for, is it Punta Cana or is supposed to be a banger next week. Other hats, saw one that just said the Dew, D-U-E.
The egg salad, the egg salad hats.
You were so mad. You have a food item on your hat.
I can't stand the pimento hats.
Oh, those are bad. But those are officially sold.
Yes.
This egg salad, I don't believe. I saw a girl with a hat that said domestic light beer on it. I saw that yesterday. So there must be some sort of little gag going on outside that says domestic light beer, egg salad. So egg salad is terrible. It's terrible.
Let's get back to the tournament a little bit here.
What do you want to talk about with the tournament? It's Friday night.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Who's the worst case scenario?
I mean, it's Corey Connors.
It's not even a possible scenario. He's already been crossed off.
Rory McIlroy.
Rory McIlroy is playing alone.
Worst case scenario. Rory McIlroy.
Rory McIlroy is playing alone tomorrow. They're going to call in Jeff Knox to play with Rory because they need two markers.
I don't see a lot. Matt McCarty. I don't see a lot on the Rasmus.
Matt McCarty, former Get a Grip co-host.
You're putting me kind of on the spot here in terms of trying to just tell someone they don't matter or it doesn't mean anything.
You know what? If you make fun of everybody, nobody can get mad.
It's Corey Connors. Let's be honest. You and your little bit about him not being on the leaderboard. He's 6 under. It's Corey Connors. He's like, yeah, I hit my irons well. I didn't lose sight of the goal ahead of me. Played it one shot at a time. And it was a good Masters. Thank you. And
I gotta say, I'm a little worried about Corey Connors
winning.
Just worried. And what made me worried after I said we can just cross him off now was that we turned on live from last night and Brandel pulled out one of his quotes that said he just feels at home on this golf course, Like it just really fits my eye. Is like effectively the contact.
That's what Connor said.
I really love this golf course, and it's like that. I don't like that.
I don't like to hear that.
But you know what? This is part of taking a stand. You got to take a stand and you ride with it, and you can't blink. You can't blink in these situations.
Live. They replaced "Don't Blink." I think.
I can't wait to empty the notebook on Live.
Live's going to be a Sunday night. Is it really debasing itself when they get put on the stage here? Do you want to give a little taste?
I just want to like lay out like what I think my dream scenario for Live is right now. My dream scenario is that Koepka and Bryson and all the other players that have their contracts coming up that matter are like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the PGA Tour. And we're left with like Jon Rahm playing in a league because he's got a 5-year contract. So he's in year 2 of a 5-year contract. He's playing with like Kieran Vincent.
Well, that's gonna be the Asian Tour at that point. Essentially, like Asian Tour, with a lot more money. Yeah.
Who's the guy that just signed the last guy in there?
McKibben?
Well, McKibben. Yeah, I guess Tyrell will be around.
Maybe. Yeah.
But then it'll be just like a bunch of guys. Caleb Surratt. Just like a bunch of random guys. And it's just Jon Rahm there finishing T4 and telling everybody, I keep finishing in the top 10.
The lonely boy. Yeah.
I keep finishing in the top 10. I know I didn't play well
You're
in majors,
unfairly judging.
but I keep finishing in the top 10.
I feel bad. I don't feel bad. He got a
You
lot
don't
of
feel
money.
bad.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. But that scenario sounds pretty dire and distressing for him.
I guess
that played out.
These are just things that you could find humorous. I do think like from the whole thing, there's just, I think like people always say money doesn't solve everything.
Solves a lot, probably.
And maybe this should be for Sunday.
Yeah.
But clearly money didn't solve, Yeah. All the money in the world didn't lead to happier pastures.
Yep. Any tee times you're excited about tomorrow before we wrap this up? Anybody get you worked up, fired up?
I mean, Rory playing alone in the second to last group is going to be intriguing.
Stop it.
I mean, has that ever happened?
Are they going to get a second marker to have Rory in the second to last group? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Justin and Rose and DeChambeau is going to be, that's showmen.
Super cool. Yeah. That's a good one. Lowry and Rory, I thought we were destined for it. When we were staying on 18, I was like, I think we might get the Shane and Rory pairing. And didn't Shane say something?
He said he was standing. So he almost made birdie on 18.
Yeah.
And someone asked him if the thought had crossed his mind. He goes, I thought about how if I make this, we'd probably play together, and that'd be really fun.
Morikawa Reed is a good one.
It's an Hatton Scheffler will be.
Ooh, I like that.
It's like different
Grumpy boys recently. Scottie's grumpy.
Scottie was a little grumpy with that official on 18.
I think, yeah. Well, he was sitting under a magnolia tree on the 8th, his 36th hole. I think he was grumpy. Hatton, just generally grumpy. When he didn't get up the hill on 16, and then he missed the 1-footer on the 17. I thought we were just going for broken clubs or something.
We got to check the quotes. There's probably some good quotes in there.
All right, I think that does it.
Do we need to bring PJ in?
What PJ? What do you want to come in?
This is a distressing day for PJ.
Yeah, this sounds like the stream's been. These comments have me on the fritz all show. PJ. Yeah. We're getting just destroyed in the YouTube comments.
This is why I say we should not have the live up while we go.
I know.
It's completely threw you off.
I'm gonna.
Well, I'm trying to get some good contributions.
I will
re-upload. Just tell us how terrible it is.
I will re-upload the stream as usual. We apologized for the connection error. I like how people are blaming me for the failings of whatever Augusta regional Wi-Fi service. Honestly, that's sick. So,
what do you have from your day out?
What do I have from my? I saw Sticks Boy. What else is there? I mean,
I heard a rumor that there were dozens of patrons that were trying to come up to you and introduce themselves to you.
Dozens is a lot, but there were many. If you did, hello, thanks for saying hi. Went to Hooters. I don't know if anybody out there saw that. We're gonna have a carousel with John Daly coming probably tomorrow.
Was it a good Champs Tour minute session?
Yeah, honestly, gave me some great stuff on Alker Boy. So,
God.
I think it'll be good. I think people will be into it.
You were trying to coax him into another player.
I wanted the Dick Green quote, but I was going around it.
So you're leading the witness.
Absolutely. We weren't on trial.
Any takeaways from the ground? What your second day on the ground?
I was impressed with the amount of wind on 12. It really threw off a lot of people. The McIntyre, Billy, and who's the third there? Nick Dunlap.
Yep.
They were so flummoxed by the wind. They all hit it like crazy over the green. They had no idea what was going on. So I that was the most fun part of my day. Is I sat at 12T for probably close to an hour and just watched the wind whip around. And many people were just absolutely flummoxed by it.
That's great. Love it. That's always a fun spot to be. Feels like we're headed for a great weekend. We got Rory. We got Scottie. We'll be daily. We'll be Saturday night. We'll be Sunday night with a longer recap show. Hopefully an improved live stream situation.
Better Wi-Fi.
Apologies for this.
We might upgrade it tonight.
All right. We'll be back. We'll be back Saturday. Talk to you then.